what we're trying to do without having done that part.
Yeah, you can
Now,
tell us, look, we're looking to build a big church here with this many people.
Right.
We're not saying we would have said, bad idea.
that's fine. But at least this way, we can talk about turn lanes, we can talk about other things. We are listening, we are going to go back and work on this. We still have a lot of key decisions left to make. And there's almost no chance, in my opinion, that we're gonna be ready to submit within 6 months. We're gonna be having another one of these by obligation, but I've already heard you, I hope you heard me say, we want to come meet with you. Sign up, contact us, we'll come meet with you outside of the obligation, okay? Because we're not trying to hide. That's.
Well, we have 10 more people on this list, and the next one is Anna O'Kelly. Good. Coming from behind you. Thank you very much, Anna.
I think everyone would be in agreement that a much smaller facility would be a little more well received.
More like a community church.
Like a community church. This is a monstrosity. It's huge.
It's a business.
Thank you very much. The next one is, it's Ted. I'm not sure how you say the last name. Ted Nigel, maybe? Okay, I'll go to the next one. Kathleen Smith. Okay, Kathleen. Robert Brown. There we go.
I live behind this church which is supposed to be built. I'm wondering about how is this zoned? How are you getting the zoning for this? Would it be an agricultural residential zoning? I missed this, if you already discussed it.
The very short answer is it's zone RA. And go back one more. And again, permitted by right. The zoning ordinance in Anne Arundel County, this is the description of it. Zoning ordinance is a permissive use ordinance only. The land use is specifically listed in the code. This is the specific list. This is an excerpt of that list. I lost where I was, but you guys can read it. But essentially, permitted as of right. So and here we are, and here's the reference if you want to find it. So when they bought the property, they bought the right to build a church because the zoning code specifically says in RA zoning, permitted by right is less than 300 parking spaces. Okay, happy to explain that. So special exception is a different process, okay? Special exception is if they wanted to do more than 300 parking spaces.
That's what it does in their road.
It actually says around 300 if I remember correctly.
300 or more. 300 or more.
So,
Now you're backing up.
I'm not. Please understand that the fact that we don't have all the answers or that things have changed over time is a matter of design, not deceit, okay? Please understand that, because it's not, special exception, let me explain that very briefly. And I'm not an attorney, so an attorney could explain it better, but you can apply for a special exception if you meet certain criteria, and then you go through a real public process where the community gets to come and voice their opinion, and a board within the planning and zoning actually gets to determine whether or not a special exception will be granted. And usually there are conditions that get placed on that. We're not going that route. So we're not trying to go over 300 spaces. We're staying within the by right limit.
But excuse me, isn't that in itself being deceitful? Because that's how many parking spaces Seton Church has off of 424. They have 275 spots there. They can only accommodate 500 people in that church. And you're saying you're going to accommodate up to 900 in less than 300.
Well, they're gonna turn all that green into parking spots later. As soon as they slip this in, they'll slip the rest in.
Let me explain. So the way that the church size is determined. So the site had the zoning, okay? The zoning says you can do up to 300 by right. Then you design the church based on how much the site fits. And the code requires that for every 3 seats in the church, you have to have a parking space. Is it 3 to 1? Yeah. And so at the end of the day, that's where the 900 number comes from.
And that works great until people actually show up to the church, and on Christmas and Easter and special holidays, when seating is parking up and down 424.
Yes.
And I'd like to see you do that in this area. I live on Eaton Way, it's in Crofton. You make a left-hand turn during rush hour on 424, you're chasing your life. I'm not over-exaggerating. And I'm telling you, it's way worse where these people are going to be turning left on. And there is no way they're not going to be there 7 days a week, because nobody builds something this large, this big. It doesn't easy. And I understand that. If I built this building, I'd be there 7 days a week. And of course they're going to be there. So, I mean, you keep back saying this, we want your input, we want to make sure that we're being a good neighbor, but you're only doing a study for, well, just on this time. And we're going to do a study at the end of February, early March, when traffic's at its lowest, to make sure it looks really good. I don't know how you do traffic studies. I do my traffic study based upon this. I will go left on 424.
Do you have bus spaces?
Thank you. One thing we are going to do with the traffic studies, I've heard loud and clear tonight, the Renaissance Festival affects 450. So we're going to do a traffic study.
Just try rush hour.
Of course, but on Sundays, when the majority of the traffic from this church will be generated,
No, it'll be
we do
every
need to send
day.
a Renaissance, and we
Just
will.
try rush
The
hour.
next person is Stephen Bell. Stephen Bell. Oh, he's back here? Is there a microphone back there?
No.
Okay.
Just a request, if you don't mind. I didn't even email out the presentation to anybody that has done that. I know you're also taking video as well. I don't know whether you're gonna put that up on YouTube so we all have that as something that'll be around for a while. So the questions and the responses back. But could we also get a list of everyone there? You're the project manager, we've got an architect. So give us, your name, the company you represent, whether you work for the church directly or indirectly, and what firm that is, so that, honestly, that gives us an opportunity to do more research as well.
Yeah, at the beginning of the PowerPoint, we have all the names, and we have what their role is. And we can include the firms that they're with as well. Now, it's Stephen Bell, no. All right, how about Mark and Diane Haggerty? No, okay. How about Noel Lang? They could be. Jimmy Castle.
That's me.
Great.
I got a few questions. I live on 450, and I own more than 2 acres, so maybe you guys could develop me a church there to clog up the rest of this community. You guys talk about community, yet none of you are from our community. Why do you pick a place to come and build your church where you don't live? You're not from here. We're not going to attend your church. You're bringing in outsiders to our community to clog up our neighborhoods. Why?
Was it not space in Howard
Hey,
County?
and also, what's your pastor's name?
He's here. He's right
Do
there.
you guys have a David Ayodope in your church?
He's the
He's the
president.
president of your church. He's banned from Nigeria. Why is that? You can Google it online. You got child abuse charges. No, what? That's all. You can Google it.
Can I respond to that?
Sure.
He was born, bred, and lived in Nigeria. He has never been banned in Nigeria. That's the wrong information. And take it from me, I will not have any reason to lie to you.
Google.
It's
And I'll tell you something else too. That picture that you see up there with that building, and you have those green areas that are designated for future places. What did the
Soccer
thing say?
field.
Yeah. That's all going to be parking spaces. Once they slip this in to fill that big ass building, They're gonna turn all those other fields into parking lots, just a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. They're gonna feed you shit a little bit at a time until you get used to it. And this is what you're having. And property value. Do you have any idea how much it's gonna drop everybody's property value around here? Who wants, and I'll be perfectly blunt, who wants an all-black church in this neighborhood?
It's not about that.
Oh,
No.
rough around the edges? Truth is the
No.
truth. So another question.
Wait.
How much are they paying you, how much are they paying you guys to blow smoke in our ass?
No. That's not it, but look at the other churches that serve this community. Look how small they are.
Nobody wants to say it, but it's the truth. And it will crumble our community.
No.
It'll destroy
In
it.
every church.
If they don't reserve a response, and that's one of them.
Oh, sure it is, sure it is.
The next
You're
person,
part of the liberal problem that we're going through right now.
the next person
You
is
got here
Steve.
quick. Last time I called you
Grimwald.
after 35 minutes to get to my house.
Steve Grimwald.
Yep, we're leaving. This is a joke. This is
Phil
what they're doing
Burke.
to your community. And they're paying that man a fat dollar to blow smoke in your ass.
So, this finishes the list that we had. And so now I'm going to open it up to other folks. If you're outside, several folks have left, so you could maybe come in at this point if you are outside. And we'll just go, oh yes.
I have 2 minutes, so here it is. Have you, on 450, integrated the number of bus stops? Number 2, and the timing of the bus stops? Both sides. Every driveway and every business. Number 2, have you looked at the impact of the crest of 450 as it comes up to the restaurant, Crab Shack? And across from Crab Shack is Number 3, all of this community is an ecumenical community. We've talked about Seton, we've talked about St. Paul's, we've talked about Baptist Church, we've talked about the Lutheran Church, we've talked about the Presbyterian Church. Guess what, folks? It's not on Sundays. There are activities 24/7. Whether you're at St. Paul's, whether you're at the Baptist Church, whether you're at Seton, or wherever you are, it's not a Sunday community. Next question. Speed limit, 45 miles an hour to 40 miles an hour. It's not going to happen without 50 accidents a day. 40 miles an hour actually is 55. Next question. Noise. Are the Rileys here?
They were.
They left. The Rileys, the Careys, the Sheepies, and about 5 other Irish generations have their house on the back of 450. As all of you know, the Irish are very quiet. What size wall barrier would you build to keep the noise down? Oh, no, I'm not going to. All right,
Come on, Jack.
It is.
Thank you.
Oh, donate some minutes. And would someone, would some donate?
It's a room full of
30
people.
seconds by popular demand. Here we go.
Traffic light at Cox Road has to be, there are so many lights. Do you know, we have a snack shop for those people who crash and wind up in our backyard in a speed shop so they can get out of their cars and call whoever. The accidents on Cox Road and 450. And Terry. Oh my God.
Thank you. And we're going to look at that. We're going to look at some crash statistics there. You brought up speeds on 450 is concerned. That's one thing that we could possibly look at. I have laser guns. I can see what's going on, the actual speeds. That's something we could do.
And the smell. The smell. The smell that we have. Sewer. Sewers, right? On Route 3?
Yeah.
Does everybody know why?
Sewer plant, dumping down, dumping through.
So it's in the sewer pipes in Route 3?
Yes.
Or Route 450?
There's a sewer plant over on Route 3. Route 3, that's on the way through.
Okay.
It needs to be updated. It needs to be updated for 45 years.
Toxic
When
reclamation.
it overruns, they overflood things into the trucks. There's a pipe right there, go look.
So we can look at that. All right, let's go to the back of the room. Thank you.
I am part of the Irish block with Jack Carey up there with my back of my house at 450, 4 houses from the corner of Terrytown and Cox.
Could you say your name too? Just for
Michael
the record?
Kenny.
Thank you, Michael.
Lived in the Crofton Triangle since 2008. So 2 things, just kind of a general, if you're gonna be our neighbors, when we come in the door and try to make eye contact and say hello, you should acknowledge us. 3 gentlemen I made eye contact with and said hello, and they darted their eyes away. That makes me feel like you're not comfortable being here and you wanna come and be a part of our community. That impacts me and my trust of our neighborhood. The other question I guess I have, I understand how much trouble it would be for a special exemption to get more parking. I also know that as a house of God, you are not going to turn people away. So what is going to be done to ensure that those 301st and 302nd cars do not end up in my front yard? Because they're going to be on Cox Road, they're going to be on Tarleton, they're going to be on Terrytown. I want to be able to trust that if I invite a friend over, they can park in front of my house. This isn't Ocean City. I don't want to have the beach traffic parked in front of my house. So what is being done in the plan to maintain that no more than 299 cars will be at each service? Because what my feeling is, I'm going to say it a lot gentler than the other gentleman did, is that you're going to have citizens in outrage that all these people, all this overflow is in my neighborhood now, and I don't have any place to park my car, and I can't get into my driveway. Oh, well, we have extra land. We'll just build more parking spaces so we stay out of your way, because you do have that land on your property. So my question is, at this point, being transparent as I'm asking you to be, what is the plan to make sure that no more than 299 cars enter your parking lot per service?
Thank you, gentlemen. Now, I would like to just answer the question, the first question about eye contact. And I'm going to tell you on my own personal experience. This is the way I am, and I know you didn't do it with me. Because usually most of people from West Africa, we are shy by nature. Hear me out. My wife, she's always telling me, that's not the American way. If somebody is looking at you eye to eyes, raise your eyes. I always look down and pass. Maybe we need to try to do our best to do it, but it's not about being close. It's not about anything. We have a lot of great respect to any human being, and personally, when you are about to move in somewhere where at least you want to be welcome. And please, we're going to try to correct that and educate ourselves at least to be that way. Now, to get back to the question about parking, Mr. James Fraser just pointed out the SE. In this particular area, RA, if let's say we already built 299, And 6 months later, we're trying to add one party to make it 300. We have to go through special exception. And we don't want to do that. Because why? It's going to help, it's not healthy, it's lengthy, and we're going to get back again to the community and to ask for, please approve our special exception.
But
so,
at that point, you would have more community support because you would not want that overflow parking in their neighborhood. So it seems to me that to do the special exception at the beginning, you need the community support to go before the board. And it does not appear that you have that just based on this room, but you could get some people behind you if they're tired of having their driveways blocked and having to call the police and have cars towed away from their house.
that really was the case, because if you look at in terms of requirement as far as site parking, you have to be at least 800 linear feet. And the way the church is going to be designed, we're going to be like more than 800 feet from Defense Highway. That means I don't see any someone from the congregation to park anywhere and walk down the street. Now that's going to be happening.
People park 1.5 miles away from FedEx Field.
Absolutely, but in the case,
and it's about the same size.
And there is some places they didn't get a chance to talk about it. They got their own security, on-site security. And in order to keep respect and for the community guideline in terms of policing, they will make sure no one will never park anywhere but inside, and that is going to be that we are.
How many parishioners?
If I could answer that question, just a little more. I think it's a very, very valid question that you have. You already heard the pastor earlier talk about how right now in their current facility, they have 3 church services on Sunday. And the goal with the new facility is they'd be able to reduce that to 1 or 2. If they find that they're having too many parking, then they're going to have to go to 3. They're going to have to make sure that the services can accommodate the actual facility that they own.
But on their website, they advertise 3 masses, a communion, and a special service on a Thursday.
And the first day of the month or something
Yeah.
too, at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And days that end
Let me
one.
just also say, I don't think, you asked a question, it is a hypothetical, that quite honestly, the question that you essentially asked, and it was very respectfully asked, but you're kind of asking, what if you decide to build a church that requires 300 spaces, but then everybody goes parks on the other part of your land? I'm not sure, I can't be certain that it's illegal. It's definitely not anything that anybody's planned. They were like, let's do that, right? It's not what we're planning, so I don't really know the answer. But when we post this thing, I'm pretty sure that that's not even allowed. I mean, you can't just park on grass to accommodate a building.
Excuse me.
I said again, I'm not sure because I'm pretty sure it's not even allowed.
Excuse
So,
me. Would you give the mic back to that gentleman there so he sees what most people in this room does not understand is they have bought property on both sides of Cox Road. Not only on the front side between Cox Road and Defense Highway, excuse me, they've also bought a piece of property that borders me. And it's on the south side of Cox's Road and borders the other people that live on Cox's Road. So to answer your question about parking, he just said it. There's really no law that says that if 301 people show up, hey, John, park your car over in the grass. Because when these people, my relatives, and the road washed out, I mowed the grass up and down the sides of this property so that these people could park while they walked home because it flooded and washed the road out. So just so everybody here understands that they own on both sides of Cox's Road. They keep wanting to tell you about this picture here of the church and the 300 or 299 spaces, but they also own 5 acres more beside me.
And it also states that up on Ritchie Highway, big church up there that I have done work up there, if you put gravel down there, nothing stops you from temporary parking. That's a 4-acre field sitting there that they're gonna park. I
Just
just
did it to Watkins Glen for the Baptist church down Watkins Park Road.
214.
I just put the gravel down, so they had another 300 spaces.
I understand. So, two things, okay?
No permit.
Mr. Kanji already explained that the 301st parking space will require us to go back into the public hearing process and apply for a special exception, which we're not going to do.
Not on the gravel.
No, okay, listen.
But there's a difference though when you do that.
Let
you have the
me
building in place.
let me explain so that you understand, because this is not a bait and switch situation here, guys. This parcel is, even though it's split by Cox Road, in the tax record, it's a single parcel.
Yeah.
So
And I'm gonna-
301st parking space here or here